if they're in your center of influence, well, you don't have to bother with sending a PLP because you got it in the bag.
Right. You start being sloppy. You broke away from essentially following a proven system because you got a little complacent because you now begin to think that you're getting these listings because of you. Oh, they're listing with me because I'm such a real estate badass. They're listing because of the value you represented from what you presented to them in the pre-listing pack. And so this is a special message for those of you who've been with us for a long time. Do not break away from following the provable system.
That's right. So I think that's a good place to stop for now. That's a lot to chew on. So homework for everyone is to ask yourself, do you always pre-qualify? And maybe you do, but are you using a script? Is it working for you? Are you never going to an appointment when you don't know the price the seller has in mind, the motivation, the prospect's ideal time frame? Do you know all of those things for sure? Are you using a kick-ass pre-listing package? The answer is either yes or no. If it's no, get help with that. That's what we're here for. Are you always on time for your appointments? Even if it's a Zoom meeting, are you on time? Or do you tend to be chronically late? I mean, there's people that just accept that,
So let me ask you this question. We get this question a ton, right? It's a good question too.
Okay.
So if you had a choice if you know you're competing for a listing appointment and they're interviewing 3 agents, which is still what brokers do or sellers do, where would you put yourself in the roster of
last?
But now here's the problem. If you're going, and I agree with Julie, you want to be last. But the thing is, and we teach you how to do this in the coaching program. In the script, you want to, if you choose to go last, if you have that, the seller will let you go last. You want to make sure the seller won't list with somebody else prior to you. And that's the risk you run if you choose to go last, that someone's going to be a strong closer and get the listing away from you.
Which is why you ask not just, are you speaking with other agents, but how did you arrive at those names to interview?
Right. And we give you scripts because what you'll discover is sometimes the sellers don't really want to interview 3 agents. I mean, none of them do. Crazy FSBOs occasionally.
Occasionally,
the
3 or more.
The rabid FSBOs, right? They might want to interview a bunch of people, but the reality of it is they don't. They don't want to interview. They don't want you in the house.
Well, especially during COVID,
right? And so we tell you how to give the seller permission to basically only interview you, provided you answer all their questions. This is all part of the coaching program.
Yep.
Again, guys, this is basically you having an unfair advantage in the marketplace, which is what you'll need because our competitors aren't just coming from the broker next door anymore. Our competitors are coming from, towns far, far and away in the form of these iBuyer tech companies. So you're going to have to be more professional than you maybe have ever been at anything in your entire life. But guess what? You can do it. It's not that hard. And once you get the basics down and once you start, replicating the right thing to do every single time, and then you move from, the different phases of mastery, you move from the unconscious incompetence to the conscious incompetence. Now you start moving to the conscious competence phase. And that's where we all want all of you guys to get. And that's only going to come from you following a duplicatable system. This is